This is 180 seconds of what you need to know from the world of litigation and investigations. Let's waste none of your precious time. This is Disputes 180. Today we're looking at Companies House, which is going through the biggest ever change to its role and function. Historically, it's been a largely passive collector of information onto the company's register, accepting at face value details provided to it. But this has now changed, and Companies House is seen as an integral part of the government's fight against economic crime, and in particular, a clampdown on the abuse of the UK's corporate structures. The Registrar of Companies has been given a series of objectives, including a requirement to ensure that information in the register is not misleading. Companies House can now be thought of as a kind of regulator. The Registrar has new powers to query filings made to it, request further evidence to support those filings, or ultimately reject filings that companies and their directors make. The existing criminal offence of providing misleading, false or deceptive information has been expanded and now applies if provided without reasonable excuse, which is a lower standard than the previous test of knowledge or recklessness. The Companies Act already contained well over 100 different criminal offences, but the new legislation has added some more. There is now a requirement that companies ensure they are registered at an appropriate address, and PO boxes are no longer permitted. Companies are also required to provide an email address through which they can be contacted. And there is a new identity verification process for all new and existing company directors or persons with significant control. A company which fails to maintain an appropriate registered office address or email address or has unverified directors will commit a criminal offence and/or incur a civil penalty, and so too do the directors. Both can be guilty of an offence punishable by a fine. Various changes need significant funding, and this is largely being achieved by an increase in corporate fees. The first round of increases has provided an additional £113 million a year in funding for Companies House enforcement. Given that the annual budget of the Serious Fraud Office is currently just £89 million, that is a significant sum. It has led to over 300 new staff, including a more than doubling of the Enforcement Directorate. Also of importance is a change in how Companies House interacts with other agencies. Prior to the new legislation, there were limited powers for providing information to other parts of government, but a new intelligence sharing hub has already led to around 600 referrals to organisations such as the Insolvency Service and the National Crime Agency. There is no doubt that the changes which started back in 2022 have gathered momentum, and the role of Companies House within the UK's corporate compliance and financial crime landscape has changed significantly. You'll find lots more detail about the new legislation and what these changes will mean for you and your company in the resources below. And if you'd like to discuss the steps you need to take, do get in touch. And that's your 180 for today. It was brought to you by the wonderful team here at Paul Hastings in London. If you want to join a live version, we host regular events at the Paul Hastings office, including our two flagship series, Developments in Disputes and The Future of International Arbitration. To make sure you don't miss out on any of this great content, follow our Paul Hastings LinkedIn page. And if you've enjoyed this edition of Disputes 180, why not look out for the next one? That way you'll have done a full 360.